Okay, I have no idea if the intro actually worked or not, or what's going on. So, hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis. Welcome back to the channel. My computer is being dumb. I hate when this happens. I really, really, really hate when this happens. But regardless, here we are. We are here now. That's where we are. Hello. So, the newest announcements by Games Workshop were very much just AOS and some jokes, which honestly, I don't know how I feel about. I don't know. I have boba. This is actually a mango snow. It's one of my favorite things from boba. It technically has no boba in it. So there was a good amount of releases. But here's my problem. I can't remember most of them. Like, most of the time when I see, like, a new release from Games Workshop, I'm like, oh, it's that. That's amazing. Blah, 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 blah. But, like, the Sisters of Battle is all stuff that we saw, excluding the High Lord of Terra, who is probably my favorite model forever out of the releases. The Aeronautica stuff was ridiculously cool. I love Aeronautica. Like, I have tons of Aeronautica stuff. And then they started off the new edition of AOS with the Stormcast Eternals. And honestly, they just look bland. Like, I think that's my least favorite army in AOS because of how boring they look. Like, they are just strictly normal, like, fantasy soldiers. And that's it. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just Age of Sigmar models not on giant bird, dog, horse thing hybrids just kind of seem to lack a little bit to me. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. I feel like it makes sense. But like the new guy with the googly eyes on his chest looked a bit silly. Looked like a Primaris Marine, to be honest. Would make a great Inquisitor for 40k. The Plastic Thunderhawk for AOS, like, the second I saw that, I knew AOS was coming out in the next few months. So I was like, ha, that's cute. That's funny. But unfortunately, before I saw the preview itself, somebody told me about it. So I was like, damn it. I wanted to have an actual reaction to it instead of, if I tried to record going, haha, I did not see this coming. It would be like, haha, I actually knew about this and I'm bad at acting. And then they got that new Stormcast girl. They look okay. Like, I wasn't excited about that. I wasn't like, oh my god. I think I overhyped myself. And I think that's the biggest problem. Because I was expecting something from, like, Warhammer 30k to have an update to Siege of Terra, and we didn't have that, and I was like, okay, I guess, sure. Or I wanted Warhammer Old World because, you know, the release trailer for the Warhammer game, the Age of Empire game, came out that same day, and I was like, yeah, this will be cool. This is what it is. No. It's AOS 3rd edition, which we knew was going to happen. And I was like, okay, I guess. But we got a Plastic Thunderhawk out of it. We also got the Storm Eagles instead of the Storm Talons or the Storm Raven, which is rather interesting. We also got the Xiphon Interceptors for Space Marines. I wasn't expecting them to, like, the third wave of aircrafts for Space Marines. Because randomly enough, Space Marines have a lot of aircrafts. They have the Xiphon Intercessor, they have the Storm Raven, the Stormhawk, the Storm Talon. They have the Storm Bird. They have the, I said Thunderhawk already. Oh, there's a few others. The Cerastus Assault Ram, the Space Wolf Exclusive Flyer. They have, what else? Storm Eagle, Storm Raven, Storm. There's another Storm Raven variant that they have. They have a ton of flyers. It's actually kind of cool. Chaos Space Marines I expected to be released for Aeronautica at some point, but we didn't get that either. I was expecting 30K, not 30K, an announcement for Titanicus where they were pushing it into maybe releasing Xenos factions. We didn't get that. I was like, okay, I guess. Oh yeah, they do have they have a bomber as well. I don't remember the name. Yeah. Let's see. I'm actually trying to remember all the stuff that they have. They brought the one Forge World upgrade sprue for the, and this, no one's talking about this, and this is actually a big deal. They have the upgrade sprue from Forge World on Games Workshop's website. Like, it's a new kit, but it's definitely like a redone version of the Forge World kit in plastic. And nobody's talking about that. So I was just like, okay. They got the new Necromunda sets coming out, and Necromunda Hired Gun got a little bit more to it. So I'm excited about that. Jesus, G-Dubs loves lightning as much as they love wolves. That is true. That is very true. Let's see. There's also the Corvus Blackstar of the Deathwatch. Yes, you are correct. You are correct. They have a ton of flyers. This actually has chunks of mango in it, and it's so good. Kind of tastes like a birthday cake. I would rather see the Imperator class release for Titanicus before Xenos, spelled wrong, factions. I'd rather them actually scale up Titans so that they're scary instead of a pushover. Like, in 40K, the Adeptus Titanicus are surprisingly small, with the largest of them being only like 250 feet tall, which, yeah, that sounds really big until you realize that that's a scout class for freaking Mech Warrior. And it's sad. Like, it's honestly sad. Like, 40K actually has realistic super robots. Realistic being a very strong word there. The Stormcast. Oh yeah, a lot of people complaining about that. Hi Alexis, hope you're well. Heard what happened to Valrak? Yes, my heart does go out for Valrak. I did send him a private message and everything, and I also posted it on Twitter and everything, just to wish him well and everything. I think he got into a car accident. It sucks what happened to him, and I hope he has a speedy recovery. Knowing Volrak, he's as stubborn as his chapter, so he'll be up and at him in no time. Volrak's a strong dude. Some nice releases, although they could have shown everything in a day. I agree. Everything could have been released in one day. They stretched it out over the course of like a week. And yeah, I think that's really cool. But at the same time, I was like, why am I wearing these? I just realized I was wearing my headset this whole time. But I do feel that they could have released it all in one freaking week. One day, I meant, instead of a week. I want to see a specific room, Jaeger versus a Titan. So a Titan has considerably more much more firepower than a Jaeger, but the Jaeger would probably body it in close combat. Like, that's not even a competition. It's really funny when people try to compare universes to 40K and they're like, oh, they would never last in 40K, when most universes would be perfectly fine in 40K. Like Star Trek and Star Wars would be totally fine. Their fleets are big enough to protect their own world, even from the Imperium. They wouldn't be able to stop all of the Imperium, but the Imperium's never been fully unified. So that's like saying all of the Orks could crush something. It's like, yeah, but good luck getting them all together. Things like Doomguy would absolutely body most of the Chaos Gods. That would be a fun-ass game, though. I would like to see a mod where somebody puts, like, demonettes and bloodletters into Doom. I think the mystery would have caused less fraction with many of the 40K fans. It's AOS. Yeah, I kind of feel that. The AOS release was eh. He says excited for the new Lady Stormcast models. Their gender is irrelevant to me. They're made out of living lightning. but I don't like Stormcast. In my opinion, Stormcast and the Fire Dwarves are pretty much the worst two armies in AOS design-wise. Mostly because AOS's basic models is like up here, and Stormcast is like up here. It's like, yeah, they're trying. But like you compare things to like the Sylvaneth or the Idoneth Deepkin or the Vampires or the Daughters of Cain or Slaanesh or any of the other supported factions, Stormcast Eternal are just the boring like poster child, and they don't even have like that much going for them. I do like them. Like, I think they're really cool looking, but in terms of a fantasy setting, they're okay. Let's see. I got a gnat in my house that's been driving me crazy for like the past few days, and it's bugging the hell out of me. Get it? Let's see. I swear if they don't have Gaunt's Ghost in the next Guard Codex after releasing official minis, they probably will, but let's hope they hold off on Guard until we can get some real Guardsmen and not just an upgrade sprue for a laughably bad model line. Like, let's hope that we get the Leman Russ to actually be able to have a ballistic skill of 2+ for a command tank and actually be able to put out some decent firepower. I don't know. There's a lot wrong with the Guard right now. There's a lot of armies that are just garbage tier right now. Like, nothing can compare to Space Marines and Drukhari right now. Excuse me. Who do you think the bad guys are in the teaser for AOS? I will be real, I don't know AOS's lore, so probably more vampires. Although I still think my favorite vampire is the werewolf from Cursed City, because his name is Wolf Cheese. I will, what is it, Ulfskir, I think its name is, and it translates to in English it translates to wolf cheese. It's really funny. Stormcast in my eyes is kit bash them with my custodians. I don't know, they look a bit awkward. Mixing a new Stormcast with some of the Marines could get a cool Dread Spear character look. I guess. I don't know. The two aesthetics are very different. So I don't really know how I'd feel about a kit bash of the two. The bodies always look so off. Mostly because Marines are not made to a good scale. They actually look kind of silly. And Stormcast Eternal actually have like armor that would fit them. I'm pretty hyped for the Centaur Vampire Lady. Yeah. No, that I'm excited about. The new I don't even know how to describe them. Like the half wyvern dragon people are kind of badass. Oh hey, it's Lore Master Sotak. But yeah. That's one of the things that I'm actually excited about. Actually, if you want to see me fight vampires, go over to my Twitch, which is the same name, NornQueenAlexis. Subscribe to the channel, because please do. And definitely go and check out my Resident Evil streams, because I am almost done with that game and I'm super hyped for it. It's a really good game. I want 30k custodian options in 40k. I'm sorry, they still get digi-weapons and paragon blades and such. I mean, they still get the fire pikes, they still get the Telemann dreadnoughts, they still get all the tanks, and they get everything good, minus like a few of the silly things, like digi-lasers, which is just idiotic. Mostly because digi-lasers come from monkeys. Not kidding. They come from the Jakaros. Let's see. I want 30k Mechanicus stuff. There you go. That's using your noodle. The 30k Mechanicus line would be amazing in 40k. So cool that Lore Master is here. Please grant us with a Q&A sometime. That is definitely something we could work out. Like, I would love to have him on the channel and just talk about AOS and things of that nature. Like, if he's up for it, I would 100% do that. Those new vampire minis straight up look like Chaos Sisters, and I was like, if GW wants to make Chaos Sisters a battle, Just make them already. You know, I'm in the same boat. So my whole thing with, I don't think that there should be Chaos Sisters of Battle. Just because thematically it doesn't make sense. It only makes sense with Mariel Sabathiel, and then you just get basic sisters. Oh, Sotek, you're super down? Yeah, hit me up after this, okay? Or during it. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But, yeah, check out my Twitch. Twitch is really fun. I do it on the weekends now. But what was I just talking about? Oh my god, my mind went completely blank. Let's see. Got 53 viewers. Honestly, it's just the new releases. The new releases felt a little bit off. Like, I think the biggest insult was Guard get a new sprue that they put into one box. That's good. That's all you get. And it's just like Guard players are sitting there like, whatever, we'll take it. I'm off to get dinner. I actually just got my dinner. I got it from the boba place because they make really, 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 like, surprisingly good chicken. Let's see. But that's just one character, though. That's fair. Will you ever play AOS? I do play AOS. I have an entire AOS army. I have multiple AOS armies. The reason that you don't see them is because I'm still painting them up aside from Slanesh, and I was waiting for 3rd edition. Oh, also real quick, have you seen the leaked Mechanicus rules on Reddit today? No, I haven't. If you could send those to me, that would be really, really cool. Just send them to me on Discord, please, and thank you. And I'll give you a hug. They're probably going up in cost for the Guard box. Yeah, it's probably going to look like about $50 for the box now instead of like $35, which is fine because no one's buying that box anyway. Everyone's buying Victoria Miniature for Guard because you can actually get the Guard that people want, which is the Deathcore Krieg and things of that nature. There we go. I should actually do like... I really want to do a lore series. What's your favorite Warhammer Fantasy faction? I actually despised Warhammer Fantasy. So Warhammer Fantasy died really hard. The community was beginning to be super toxic and super bad. It was all competitive or nothing. There were armies in the game that were just terrible. There were armies in the games that are just way too good. And overall, like, I did not like AOS, and I thought the models looked like garbage. Then they switched to that was Warhammer Fantasy. Then they switched to AOS. And in AOS, the models look fantastic, and my favorite army is Daughters of Cain or Slanesh. Sorry, my throat is like garbage right now. But in, like... lore-wise, I absolutely despise Slanesh. I think it's like one of the worst things to ever have in a setting ever. And it's super, 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 super cringy. But I do really like the lore behind Kayla Marathi Kane. And I think she's amazing. They'll probably go up in cost of the box. Yep. I just hooked up 2 great YouTube working together and an epic crossover, and I feel super great. Yeah, good job. What's your favorite Warhammer Fantasy faction? Just read that one. I love AOS. Just COVID completely killed all local battle scenes. Yeah, as it should have. You shouldn't be playing games in stores until you get both shots. Just saying. Victoria Miniatures, I'll have to look them up. Please do. They're amazing. I have a bunch of their guards somewhere. For someone who isn't into AOS, who are the Daughters of Cain? So, do you know your mythology? They're essentially Nagas, snake people, harpies, and all sorts of manner of evil creatures that are working for the good guys in AOS. They're pretty much a bunch of blood elves that just want to murder and eat things. But they're good guys. I totally see Daughters of Cain in you. Yeah. Yeah. I sent the Mechanicus thing over on Twitter. Now I gotta go to Twitter. Damn it. Okay, 1 second. Going over to Twitter. Got your whole heckin' thing. Oh, that. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, this is... Yeah. We actually, what was it? Hang on. Gotta get back to my live stream. There we go. We actually bought a whole new Mechanicus army for my buddy. So we have all of those. It's pretty decent. But I'm waiting until the official rules come out. Because models right now are... Stat sheets are okay, but the rules behind them are what makes things powerful. AOS is just a reboot for Fantasy Imbalance and stuff. No, Fantasy kind of just died. No one was selling it, and it was just doing terrible. I'll say it, nuns don't need a new codex, and I play sisters. They need it for strictly for the new units, and that's it. And I play sisters. They also need to be nerfed. Like, they're way too powerful. I want to improve sub-faction trades for Argon Shroud and tanks and spears and warsuits. Or is it spires and warsuits? Yeah, I could see that. Victoria Miniatures is great. If you get a bit, they match the Acadian box. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, my phone is just reminding me that you sent me a message. Thanks. There we go. Okay. No, but the releases, I'm trying to remember what else was released. Like, it wasn't too much in my opinion. It was some cool stuff. Like, definitely some cool stuff. Do you think the Admix Codex will be pre-orderable next Sunday? No. Not even... No. The next two codexes is going to be Codex Orks and Codex Sisters of Battle. Sisters of Battle have already been released, and the Ork Codex is already, well, not released, revealed, and so has the Ork Codex. So both of those are going to be the next ones coming. Are you excited for the upcoming Total War Warhammer 3? No. I don't play those games. I apologize. I know a lot of people are super excited for them, but yeah, I don't play them. As a Spear and Shield player in D&D, I am happy that Stormcast got this Spear and Shields. Oh, nice. Yeah, the Snaggas are looking really cool. Hate their name, but I think they're really awesome. The crab. That's what's... You know what? The crab is rocking it. The crab is rocking it. But, let's see if I can find it really quickly. Because I know they did a whole reveal of everything that they did all at once. Yeah, catch up with all 6 days. So... this whole thing. Let's go ahead and see if I switch this to here. There we go. So let's take a look at all 6 days. Let's make sure this is muted and not playing. Yes, it is. Okay. Really interesting artwork here. I like it. Not a fan of how they did her hair. It's parted weirdly. I'd like it better if it was a mohawk. Wow, it's not even... Oh, that's weird. Oh, okay. It's not going the right way on this side. Hang on. I got this. I'm a professional. Don't mind me. Boop-a-boop-a-boo. I just need to change the setting really quickly. That's taking forever. Into. There we go. So yeah, like I said, I'm not a fan of her using two-handed weapons. They would be inefficient, but whatever. Magic Space Lightning Soldier. Her armor's pretty decent. I like that. But the two-handed weapons look a little silly. Her head looks really big for no reason. And I'm not a fan of the mohawk. I think it's okay. And then we got her standing here, and she just kind of looks bad. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big fan of this character. Like, this picture of her makes her look like garbage. This picture makes her face look much better. I just wish they would stop doing these really sharp lines in their face, because it just looks really bad in my opinion. This guy just looks completely bland and boring. It's cool, but it's boring. Same with these guys. They just kind of look boring. Really like this one. I think the paint job on the face is absolutely fantastic. This guy I made a joke about on Twitter. He looks like a, here, let's just jump over to Twitter real quick. Tweetors. Let's go here so you don't see what I look up. There you go. There you go. That's what he looks like to me. So, yeah, he just looks silly. And he still looks silly. There was no way it was just that. That was day 6. Let's see, what was day 5? Where was day 5? There's day 5. And day 4. And day 3. And day 2. I don't care about day 1. So day 5. What did we got? Yeah, we got the Snagas. And this was ridiculously cool. This I really like. The Pachystrigalosaurus is amazing. I think they're absolutely terrific in every way. I like that they brought back a 2nd edition character. This model makes me want to play Orks again. I really love it. I think it's just amazing. The fact that he has hair squigs stapled to him is really fun. I like that his prow lance has a power claw on it. So that makes this guy terrifying. I love this. I love this so much. It's adorable. And then they released the new war boss, the new mega boss, with his Ooge hammer. And yeah, that's supposed to be huge hammer. Or a huge chopper. Sorry, my bad. They released the guard upgrade sprue, and you got the guy wearing panties on his face. Although that would be really, really, really awkward panties. Like those wouldn't even be comfortable. Overall, I think they look okay. Guards still look comically out, like, look at the giant hands. Like, I can never get over how bad the guard model actually looks. If you put a backpack on them, surprisingly, they look a lot better, and it's really weird. Have you checked out the Chaos Arising YouTube channel, the Marauder? Sorry, I can't read that real quick. So we get some upgrades there, and then we actually have this, which reveals the 2 next codexes, which is going to be Thousand Suns and Grey Knights. So hopefully we can get some cool upgraded stuff for them. And then we got day 4, which day 4 has Warhammer Underworlds, which is pretty neato mosquito. This guy looks silly. We have the Adnet Deepkin with the crab and the fish. And that's all you need to care about, the crab and fish. And the Atlanteans. Then we have Necromunda, and we have the most ridiculous Necromunda crap ever. And I love that Necromunda is just going balls to the wall. They're just like, whatever, make this. It looks cool. It's in concept art somewhere. Then we got this box, which of course I'm going to be buying because I actually love these boxes. And then I'm probably going to be buying one of each of these sets so that I have enough aircrafts for all of them. I was surprised to see that these made it in. Like, I'm really surprised to see them. I thought they were going to take these out of the lore, and they brought them right back and put them into Aeronautica, which is something that I actually really like about Aeronautica. It shows a lot of the older stuff that's in the 40k universe. Then we got the 2 others, the Xiphon Interceptor, and the Storm Eagle gunship, and then the Thunderhawk itself, which don't be surprised if we see a Thunderhawk later this year. An actual one, not that. Then we got Gaunt's Ghost, which is missing the woman for some reason, who was in the original set. Whatever. I get it, she was supposed to be a cheerleader. They look really cool, really nice. Hoping they have decent weapon skill and ballistic skill, otherwise they're going to be useless. This is actually really, really, really cool. I like these. I think they're neato mosquito. It's cool that we have current books that feature different living saints. I think that's Saint Sabat in the background. Then we have another book coming out, and this one's really cool because it has Scions in it, and I really like Scions. We have, finally, the next Siege of Terra book, which is Warhawk, and I'm excited about this because I want to see the fight between Yagatayan and Mortarion. That one's going to be really good, and I can't wait to read that. Broken City is going to be good. The crime novels are usually really good. The horror books are amazing. Ooh, another guard book. The guard books have been fantastic as well. And it's cool to see that they feature women. That I really like. Oh my god, I really hope they bring this back and have it as just as good as the other Necron books. They've been fantastic as well. Then we have this piece of artwork that I really, really, really like, because this is a tank crew. Now, they should be rocking carbons instead of las guns, but you know what, whatever. At this point, I'll take any and all artwork of Imperial Guard. And that's it for that day. And then we got the Sisters of Battle. And we got this amazing Hard Lord of Terror. I already talked about these. They're fantastic. This one looks atrocious, but whatever. She looks bad. Put a helmet on her. She looks amazing. See, it's really weird what a better paint job can do. Like these are all painted pretty decently. Like, okay, this one looks atrocious. This one just looks atrocious. But overall, the models themselves look really good, and a proper paint job on them will make them look much better. For these, I'm going to be doing cloths over their upper arms and everything, and cloths over the waist itself, similar to the High Lord of Terra. Just think it looked better. I'm actually kind of excited about this. Somebody got mad at me in a comment about this tank because I mentioned that it won't be as good as a Retributor squad, and they just flipped out on me. And then the Sororitas book, which has pretty bad artwork on it, but not terrible. Kind of wish they had the sister from Our Martyred Lady, or Mark of Faith, or maybe even Red and Black, or Hammer and Anvil, or any of the known Sisters of Battle on the front would have been really cool. But now we get this person, which is still cool. Still cool. I just wish she had her hood on, because, you know, the rest of them have their hoods on. Oh yeah, and Bellicor is making his way to 40k, which is going to be amazing. So that's pretty much all of that. And let's switch back to this so I can actually read your comments and get back into this, because this is going to be a lot of comments. Okay. All right. I'll say it. Nuns don't need a new codex. Yada, yada, yada. We already saw that one. The crab. Yep, we saw that one. Not going to lie, Snaggers has me so confused. Like it is a sub-faction of Orks or an entire new unit. It's kind of a mix of both. It's like speed freaks. You can make a speed freak army, but they benefit from being whichever one it is. Wow, why am I drawing a blank at the name? It's the Red Gits. Can't remember what they're called. But yeah, they can be their own entire faction, or they could be a sub-faction. Was asking about Horus Heresy Legion as I played someone with your username yesterday. Was just curious if it was you. It was me. I play that game quite a lot. I'm in practice mode, and I'm probably just speeding through games, just trying to get through to the daily quests and everything. So yeah. Necromunda soon. The biggest challenge is finding someone else who plays Aeronautica. Yeah, that's why you just buy everything. And that way you could just throw it at your opponent. Just be like, here, learn this faction. Black is definitely your color. Thank you. What's your favorite Black Library author? It's a tough call, but it'd have to be Aaron Densky Bowden, and then followed very closely by Andy Clark and Graham McNeil as the best Black Library authors that exist. And if you guys want to be super awesome, you can hit that super chat feature, donate a little bit to the channel, and help me support my hard addiction to minis, as well as pay bills. So yeah. Evil Sons, thank you, Ulfer. Oh my god, you're right there for me. I love you. You're great. I love what the sisters are getting in this edition. I've always wondered, why can't Celestine grab someone's storm shield and power weapons like every other Imperial faction? Imperial Guard don't have it. Neither do Tempestus Scions or Adeptus Mechanicus. They all don't have storm shields. So yeah, storm shields are hard to make. I'm really curious about the new sister stuff and the mini blade guard. If they count as bodyguards, if they can body block effectively, nothing would really get in their way. Yeah, that's pretty much true. They're gonna have the bodyguard rule, which we've already seen. This stupid gnat is driving me crazy. So I'm wondering what they're going to have. But yeah, I need to get some more Sisters of Battle and build myself up a, oh my god, what is her name? A Palatine very soon, so that I have all of the new sister units. And I have a ton of stuff on the way for Sisters of Battle. And it's kind of really awesome because it's coming from our Lord and Savior. But yeah. That made a really funny noise. But yeah, I'm excited for the new releases, but the new AOS stuff just doesn't have me. Right on. Small World. I was a Fulgrim yesterday. Cheers, glad. Yeah, I think you kicked my ass. I can't remember, because I battled like 1,000 people yesterday. But I think you actually won that game. I'm not sure. I know after a certain point I just kind of scoop once I know my Imperial armies can't win. I'm trying to get the Sisters of Silence stuff for that game, but my god is it hard. Do you think the Sisters are adopting the classical Space Marine playstyle? I was hoping Sisters and Land Raiders and Drop Pods. I honestly don't get why they don't have Drop Pods at this point. Considering that in earlier editions they had Drop Pods, and it just makes sense for them to use Drop Pods because of the way and style they do warfare. So I'm really confused why they can't just get Drop Pods. It would also sell Drop Pods for Games Workshop, so again, I'm really, really, really confused why they don't. Oh, and to anybody who's about to say, Space Marines are the only ones that can handle Drop Pods because I don't know the lore. Well, you're wrong. Yeah, I won that one. Yeah, that makes sense. I lose about, in Horus Heresy Legion, I lose about 20 games before I win one. And it's strictly because I won't pay money for the game. Like, I will not put a penny into that game. Other people can, but I won't. Sister Drop Pods are in the canon. Yes, they are. They are Dominica pattern drop pods or just drop pods. They use both of them. They also use assault pods as well as supply pods. And there's a ton of different styles of drop pods that the sisters use. Old Epic Pod was fantastic. No reason not to have them. Thank you. Yeah, there's really, really, really no reason for them to have them. Also, I'm pretty much full goth today. Like, even down to my boots. Like, full goth. Witcher Loyalist chapter. The Sons of Gara, my custom-made chapter. For Space Marines. I thought Drop Pod G-Forces is extreme. It drops at like 90 miles per hour. And when it hits the ground, it doesn't actually cause a depth of more than like a few inches. So it probably only hits the ground at 80 miles per hour, which is completely survivable for people in harnesses, especially shock-absorbing harnesses. But not only that, the interior of a drop pod actually has gravitational fields, so you don't feel any impact. You just know the drop pod stopped and the doors open. And that's it. In fact, drop pods can technically keep their doors closed, not in gameplay, but in lore, can keep the doors closed so that the occupants can get their weapons and everything ready, and then they can open them and go out of them. But yeah, Inquisitors use drop pods. In fact, Inquisitors use drop pods on the tabletop. Like, they can go into drop pods. You can actually have multiple Inquisitors in one drop pod. It's really funny. If you really, really, really want to cheese it, you could put 3 Inquisitors, all Psychers, and 3 different detachments, and put 3 character librarians or any other type of librarian or Psycher in that drop pod with them that can take those normally, so Space Marine drop pod, Space Marine Psychers, and drop them in and do 6 smites to 1 target. Hey Alexis, if anime was going against 40k, how would you react? It's fine. Also, 40k fans think 40k is OP, and I'm like, what about anime? Yeah, no, 40k is actually on par with like Star Wars and Star Trek. Like, there are overpowered things in it, obviously, but it's not as powerful as, say, MechWarrior, Robotech, or any anime out there. Like, I'm pretty sure Naruto by himself can body every single Primarch simultaneously. Like, it wouldn't even be a challenge. All the Primarchs would just be dead in less than like 15 seconds. And that's just getting through his backstory. But yeah. No, anime is busted. Just dropped in to say sisters always seemed like a hardline CQB faction. What close quarter? I don't know what you mean by CQB. The Predator for sisters seems unnecessary. I fully agree. They're nerfing the Exorcist to make you buy that Predator, and it really, really bugs me because I'm definitely going to buy that freaking Predator. I'm buying all the new sister stuff, so I'm going to complain about it. What? No way. I don't know what you're what no waying to. Dawn of War intro cinematic states the drop pod slows down considerably before landing. Yes, it does. You can actually see its retro thrusters activate prior to it hitting the ground. Quick question. How terrifying is it to fight the Sisters of Battle? It's actually pretty scary because they don't come down like a chapter does where they send like a little bit at a time. The Sisters will deploy their entire force for any one thing. Like, they'll deploy 100,000 sisters to a planet just to take it. And sisters technically have no hard limit on how many sisters can be in the order. It's just from breaking down the math of the 8th edition rulebook, which states that sisters can go up to a certain number. I estimated that each chapter or each order of sisters would have at minimum 100,000 sisters. So they could be upwards of 1 million sisters just deploying to a world to eradicate it. That's a thing. Star Trek is OP? Yes, it is. Their basic weapon for peacekeeping is enough to disintegrate somebody. Their actual technology is terrifying. Just go read about your Borg. Yeah. I know you are not that fond of resin models. I'm okay with them. But if you had to pick one, which one would be your favorite? I have a freaking ton of resin models. I don't know. I'm working on some of these. I got 2 of them that I'm currently working on. They're black primed, but these are 2 resin Sakaran Arcuses because they have the top mounted turret Whirlwind Scorpius missile pod. But I got 2 of these that just need to be finished. I've been working on a lot of my Space Marines recently. Let's see. Star Trek is OP because they can just teleport nukes into an enemy ship. They can't get around shielding, but they can use their superior firepower. Like, Star Trek's lore is terrifying. Also, Alexis, you look very cool. Thank you. What demons do you think need to die, like, right now and get new boxes? Probably the Seekers of Slaanesh, because they just look like garbage. They don't hold up. Like, Demonettes hold up. They look fine. They look great. But Seekers of Slaanesh kind of are a garbage kit. Now, Imperial Guard don't have the same level of power armor. I would assume that they are far less numerous than Imperial Guard, correct? Imperial Guard number in the trillions. Like, not hundreds, not thousands, trillions. There is literally stories of them sending millions of guardsmen to a planet over and over and over again until they defeat the enemy. Yeah. Star Wars is OP, I'm surprised. Yeah, Jedi would... not a Jedi, a Sith is just massively overpowered. Also, if they have the same level using only the few planets in their system that they have, imagine what they could do if they were as big as the Imperium. Cain Genesis device. Anyone? Yep, the Wrath of Cain Genesis device. Wait, you said Star Wars is OP? Wow, I'm shocked. A good chunk of their stuff is. Like, the fact that they can bring a weapon like the Death Star laser on an onager and just fly it at light speed wherever they need it in the galaxy. Yeah, that's pretty terrifying. Human wave levels. Yep. Rank the demon gods in your favorite to least a favorite. Okay, least a favorite is Nurgle. Then it goes Malice. Then it would go probably... Nurgle, Malice is probably Tzeentch, Khorne, Slaanesh. That's how I rate the 5 Chaos Gods. Armageddon is a work in progress for the Imperial Guard. Kept sending more men at it. Yep. I'm currently reading all the Primarch novels, and I have to say, damn, Traitor Primarchs are insanely worse written than the Loyalist ones, in my opinion. I think it depends on the reader. So, if you're part of the LGBT, I know this is going to sound weird, you side more with the traitors, except for when they actually fall to chaos themselves, but you understand their motives behind it more so than you would if you're a cis person reading them, where you're just like, wow, they just fell because they're just idiots. And yeah, they try to make certain Primarchs like likable, like Angron, who is just Angron, and he just wants to murder things. Alexis, do you think Kratos could beat a Primarch? Yes. Not even a challenge. Kratos would just kill him instantly. Like, that's no. There is no challenge there. Those guardsmen had it till it dies. Yeah, that's Imperial Guard. That's some Imperial Guard. Cadians don't do that. Catachans don't do that. Armageddon Steel Legion do that. Deathcore Krieg technically do that as well. Grandfather Nurgle is sad. Well, he's like the kid that I don't like that plays magic. He smells bad. Alpha Legion are the only straight-up traitor. Well, that's not true. You have the World Eaters. The World Eaters are just evil. The Night Lords are just evil. Like, there is nothing redeeming about either of their chapters. Or, in this case, legions. The Starkiller base could literally fire multiple beams at once and from extreme ranges. Yeah, and we got to see that in a movie. The one thing that can beat Kratos is door. The one thing that can beat anybody in any video game is a locked wooden door. You don't have that key, you're not getting in it. Doesn't matter what weapons or armor or anything you have, you're not getting past that wooden door. Even if there's an open window next to it, you're not getting past that wooden door. Armageddon Steel Legion looks cool. Yeah, the little Russians, they look amazing. How did you start loving Warhammer 40k? Well, as you can see, I like the gothic aesthetic. It's not very hard, and I saw Sisters of Battle one day when my buddy Justin was looking through a 40k rulebook, and I thought that they looked really cool. And so I started reading a few books and got an army. Not of Sisters, of Space Marines and Tyranids. The others would give him a run for his money. You do know that Kratos kills gods, right? Like, Kratos kills gods that can move faster than light. There is no way a Primarch is standing up to him. Word bearers are likable? No. 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 But yeah. Again, if you guys want to support the channel right now, go and look right below the chat. Check out that super chat feature. It helps out the channel quite a bit, and it helps me pay bills as well as buy a bunch of dumb stuff so I can show you in games and whatever. Do you think the Ultramarines movie needs an update? No, not at all. I do kind of wish Sisters got dreadnoughts. I don't. I think the dreadnought concept is really, really, really stupid. It's a refrigerator that walks around and pretends to be a human. It's kind of sad, actually. And Space Marines are so fond of them that it's really easy to take advantage of a dreadnought. You could just kill a dreadnought, just flat out, if you las cannon a dreadnought and kill it. Space Marines will go to the dreadnought to secure it, So if a Traitor Guardsman unit knew that, they would simply look for the dreadnoughts, mark them with lasers, and then just instantly start killing them. And once they kill the dreadnoughts, they would just bombard the area until all of those Space Marines died that would try to go and secure the dreadnoughts. Like, not a chance at all would they even hold. Like, Space Marines are dumb. Do you think Games Workshop should roll out HRUD as a faction in 9th edition? No, because the HRUD aren't really a threat. They kind of just rapidly age everything. Yeah. If you want an army, I would say the Demiurge, the Squats, the Carillion Dog Warriors, a fleshed out Kroot mercenary list, maybe some Men of Iron, maybe a few other armies could be rolled in. An Order for Death would be kind of cool. Chaos Androids could be really cool. If they probably brought back the Dark Mechanicus, would be really cool. Let's see. Dreadnoughts, like model babies. I love dreadnoughts. They're just silly and stupid, and the way they move is hilarious. What about Chaos Dreadnoughts? Also stupid. In your opinion, who is the lost Primarch that returning right now would benefit the Imperium? Okay, so what you're asking is, if a Primarch were to return, I think chances are Lion is next, since the next book takes place with Luther in it. So there is a very, very, very strong chance that Lionel Johnson will be in that book. It's not likely, but it is a chance. So we'll have to see. Ever bought Lizard? 40k ever brought Lizardmen to? Oh, okay. Bringing Lizardmen would be interesting. It's doable. It would just be a subsidiary race to the Tau. I use my Chaos Dreadnoughts on my Tyranids. It's not a joke. I actually do. I don't have any to show you right now. Actually, I do. I have one behind me. Do you think Sodas needs to be hired and given 1 million models? Maybe not 1 million models, but a good salary would be nice. What do you think of the slow return of the Enslavers? I don't like it. The Enslavers are still in the lore and they're still used as bad guys, but overall I don't like them. I just want Clone of Ferris to be free so I can live out my fantasies. 40k Lizardmen of the Zotes? That's not true. They're the Carillion Dog Warriors. That's the closest thing to Lizardmen. Waiting time for another Loyalist Primarch to return. Don't even really care who it is at this point. Yeah, the ones that I can think of right off the bat that could return would be Lionel Johnson, Yagatayan, and possibly... Nope, that's it. I think Tau should get more allied races for the tabletop. Agreed. I definitely agree. Let's see. Go. Hey Alexis, is a Hive City really bad? Oh, thank you for subscribing. Is a Hive City really as bad as... Really bad and the Underhives? Okay, yes, Underhives are horrifying. Like, they are 100% horrifying. We just got another subscriber. Ooh, let's make sure we lower this volume. I do apologize. I know that's really loud. I bet it's our boy Vulcan. Vulcan's kind of boring, and his chapter is kind of whatever at this point. It's not unique enough, and it would just be another Codex Primarch, and no one would want that. Most of the Imperium doesn't know the names of the traitor Primarchs. As far as I can remember, they couldn't Gilliman claim that the Klungrim? Okay, I think I know what you're saying. Yeah, they only think that there was 9 Primarchs. 9 Sons of the Emperor. That's it. They don't even know that traitor Primarchs exist. Except for, like, military commanders. Chaos Peeps, Gavesa would be cool. Non-human Chaos Peeps and Gavesa would be cool. Yeah, I could agree to that. Make him a new Primarch? I don't know what you mean. I really hope GW pays some respect to the Crude and the Vespids this edition. Give Crude AP -1 in melee and Vespids D2 damage. Damage 2 to their guns. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know why my phone keeps sending the message too early. Sorry, it's all good. There we go. Also, I've realized that the Jealousy changing from yada yada yada. Not lower friendly, but it's very tempting. Okay. New Galactic Thread, Space Dolphins. I could see it. Please read my message. I don't know which message was yours. Just resend it. Do you think it's Lion's fault for betraying some of the Dark Angels on Caliban, turning them into Fallen? Yes and no. Lion did jump the gun when he told the non-Terranborn to return to the chapter. And I think that that was really, really stupid on his part. But I understand why he did it. So do I think that it was bad? Yes. Do I think that it was his fault? No. The fault of them falling to chaos... God, I have like tiny pieces of hair that are making my hair tearing, making my face tearing itchy. But my whole thing is that they gave into the temptations of chaos. They were screwed from the start. Vulcan did come back in M32, and no one praised him. Yeah, I think he fought a Primarch. Well, one of the Primarchs, and he killed it by tackling it into a generator. So that was kind of neat. Yeah. Alrighty, we've been going on for about an hour. Damn. We have 80 people here. That's amazing. And again, guys, if you want to... Okay, thank you. Thank you. And you get to see my cool boots. Look at these. These are adorable as hell. I love these boots. I get to be fully goth today, so it makes me happy. Any day that I can be full goth, amazing day. I was expecting more 40k reveals. Same. Like, legit, I think we got like one, and it was just Sisters, which we all knew about. And it was cool that we got to see, you know, the new High Lord of Terra. But that was it. Like, for 40k, we got the High Lord of Terra, and that was pretty much it. Who'd win in the fight? Bellicor in the Black Library story, or Space Marine Intercessor with maximum plot armor? Probably freaking Intercessor at this point. Your boots look awesome. Thank you. What do you think about the fact that Kill Team was not mentioned? Well, Kill Team is a bad game, so... Like, Kill Team is horribly unbalanced right now. Also, thank you for the donation. You're awesome and I love you. What is a Primarch, and can you tell us a little lore on them? And my girlfriend loves your boots. Thank you. Cheers. Keep up the good work. Keep rocking. Thank you, Barack Jerome Obama. That name. That actually reminds me of this time I used to be on Dueling Network back when that was a thing. And one of my opponents was named Barack Ojama, and it killed me. But a Primarch is the result of billions of orcs teaming up. So orcs get smarter and more psychically potent the more orcs there are. So to break this down, if a planet, this is the planet, okay? So planet, okay, gets orcs on it. Boop. Orkity orcs. There's not going to be many orcs. You get like a few dozen, okay? And then the orcs started making agriculture. And once the orcs make agriculture, they start growing squigs and growing plants and growing different types of squigs and Gretchen and more orcs, okay? The orcs use that as their own food source, as well as eating anything that they can find and kill. But at this point, they have medieval weapons. They have just their choppas and maybe a bow and arrow, if they're smart enough, okay? And this happens all the way up until they get to about, let's just rough estimate, 100 orcs. At 100 orcs, they tend to get a little bit smarter, and they start unlocking technology. They'll make their first black powder weapons. They'll start making guns and cannons and things of that nature. And they'll start breeding more and more animals. This is how orcs evolve and get stronger and smarter as they go. So, as they get their numbers more numerous, they get up to 1,000, let's just say 500 orcs. At 500 orcs, they're making regular guns. They are making semi-automatic rifles and things of that nature, though orcified, so semi-automatic shooter. So, 3 bursts and maybe the gun explodes. And they're also making technology at this point, like trucks and buggies and things of that nature. They're also making things in the progression of their squigs. You can see things like giant squigs, bitey squigs, bomb squigs, and things like that start to appear. Then they get up to 1,000. At 1,000, they start understanding technology. So you'll get orcs with like laser weapons. You'll get orcs with shock attack guns. You'll get orcs that have different technologies and everything. You'll start seeing power claws and pain boys start appearing. Knobs will start taking over tribes and fighting for dominance. And it's at this point a war boss usually appears. Now, a war boss will start selectively growing his Wa, because he'll have a thought of a great war that he can have. Or she'll start breeding like crazy until there's thousands upon thousands of them. At this point, they start gaining the ability to do space travel based on anything that their species has seen. So if a member of their tribe has seen a spaceship, they will know how to replicate it in an orky fashion. So they'll start building rockets and things and going off planet or going around the planet and conquering it. And once they segregated the planet and conquered it in their image, they'll start taking slaves. Yes, they do this. They're essentially white people. Anyway, that's a joke, strictly a joke at colonialism. But orcs will start taking over planets and start manufacturing weapons and armor and equipment and spaceships and everything that they need to get to other planets to start doing it to. So at this point, they're at about 1 million orcs. And at 1 million orcs, they start going to war. And once they bring their battle to another planet, they have a planet supplying them. So the orcs can constantly grow and constantly add to their numbers and ranks. Once they get up to about 1 billion orcs, they start getting super powerful. They start gaining psychers and weird boys like crazy. War bosses start to think. They start to get more cunning. And this is where bigger orcs, squigoths, and things of that nature start appearing. So now the war boss needs bigger equipment. You'll start seeing stompas, bigger ships, rocks, and things of that nature. And then once they get up to like, say, and again, these are rough estimated numbers, okay? These are not accurate to the lore. It just says as the tribe keeps growing, okay? So once they get up to like, let's just say 1 trillion orcs, you'll start seeing things like prime orcs appear. Actually, it's probably way more than 1 trillion. It's probably like quintillion orcs. But regardless, you'll start seeing prime orcs appear. Prime orcs are massive orcs. Orcs the size of titans. And these things are idolized as the orc gods. You'll start seeing Gorka and Morkanauts, and typically war bands of orcs don't get to this size because they're too busy murdering each other or killing one another or dying in war. And if these prime orcs get to stay around, they'll split the great gangs, the great clans into different sectors, all 6 different clans, and each one will produce a prime orc. And once all of them produce the prime orcs, they will be strong enough, able enough to take on the entirety of the Imperium, like they did in the Beast of Rises series, and demand the Imperium surrender to it. Orcs innately understand technology. They can master interdimensional space travel by winging it. and trusting in their belief system. Orcs are crazy. They understand and believe to make work. They can figure out technology without knowing anything or learning anything. It just happens. And they gain this collective knowledge across the entire orcoid species. So yeah, orcs. They're scary. But yeah, my boots are really nice and I love them. And my top is really cute. I love this top. It's actually a really nice corset. The only complaint I have is this is a little bit tight, and that's about it. But that, I should have just loosened it a little bit. Yeah, they have a population tech tree. Yep. And this goes with their psychic powers as well. Orcs are honestly a little anime. Yes, they are. Let's see, are there ever purple orcs? Purple orcs actually came from a white dwarf. In fact, if you watch my white dwarf series, I'm coming up to that one very soon. But they were a thing in a paint job, and the comment underneath it is, no one has ever seen a purple orc. And that was the comment, and then that made it into Legends of 40k. Alexis, is the Gaunt's Ghost a good series for us guard players? Yes, 100%. Read Gaunt's Ghost, read Cadia Stands and Cadian Honors. Read, oh my god, why am I... Severina Rain is also really good. There's a ton of good guard books. I don't even think there's a bad guard book. Warhammer 50k is just Orcs versus Tyranids. Alright, let me explain this. Tyranids are not a threat in 40k. They're just not. Okay? Tyranids lack faster than light travel, which means the entire swarm will not be in our space before the sun explodes because they're too slow. Just saying. We can line up Nova Cannons and just shoot where they are and kill them as they come. And if 40k had half a brain, they would talk about all of the military prowess that the Imperial Navy has. Especially when they can see the Tyranids coming for, well, years. My hope for Orcs 9th edition are for boys to be 6 points per model and knobs to go back to T5. I don't remember a day when knobs were T5. Mega knobs were at some point. The orcs mount on giant squigs are calling out to me. Yes. Hey Alexis, what would happen in Warhammer 50k? Would there be stuff and new Chaos Gods? My prediction for the end of 40k, like the end story of 40k, is that Chaos is defeated. Necrons band with humans to defeat them. Humans turn on Necrons using a virus that affects, using the Destroyer virus on the Necrons themselves, so they give in to the Destroyer code, and then pit them against each other by using scrap code on them as well. So Necrons just start destroying each other, mainly starting with their leaders, essentially, turning them crazy. Then probably the Imperium would win with an alliance with the Tau and Eldar, and that's how it's going to end. Tyranids would be wiped out by the combined might of the Eldari and the Tyranids. Not the Tyranids. The combined might of the Imperial Navy and the Eldari. And by then, the Tau would have developed technology to beat the Tyranids. And since Tyranids don't evolve while in space, they only evolve during battle, and Tau are always evolving, well, Tau would probably defeat them pretty easily. The Imperium and the Tau would come to an understanding. Stay in your space, we'll stay in ours. Don't interfere. There'll be minor skirmishes here and there, but no grand battle between them. Eldari would probably have the same thing done for them. Let's see. Does the Emperor have a paradise where humans are happy and have good lives, like an afterlife? Just saying. No. There is no afterlife. There is, your spirit is at rest in the Eye of Terra, well, in the warp, and within his domain, which is the beacon of the Astronomicon, your soul is kept safe, and the Emperor can call upon it whenever he needs a legionnaire. So, no. What about the species Tyranid ships that mess with the planet's gravity? Ooh, yeah, one up on you, Alexis. I know stuff. You are correct, and sorry I'm insulting you. I'm just joking, by the way. Yes, but those ships are super easy to spot because they're manipulating gravity, which affects an entire system, which is very easy to predict and pick up. And even in the story that has them in it, they talk about Inquisition hunting them down. And then all you have to do is kill those. They create a gravitational, essentially gravity slingshot for the Tyranids to move faster than light to the planets themselves, but you need a Genestealer cult to be effective to do that. The Inquisition would have to step up their numbers to make sure a cult doesn't actually emerge enough to build one of them. Yeah, they're really easy to beat. Could you see a salamander, space marine, I think the Tau? No. Defecting to Tau? No. Space Marines are too loyal to their chapters to betray the Imperium. Was it selfish of the spirit of Sanguinius to ask Dante to keep fighting and not let him die? No, Dante needs to stop being a little bitch and get back out there and fight, like his daddy told him to. The Silent King actually believes the Tyranids are a problem. Yes, and that's why he fought him for 60 million years. But the Silent King also fought him with only one dynasty. And all of the combined might of the Necrons. So, well, what technology he had. But it's now revealed that the Silent King might have just been lying. Like, the Silent King might just be not the Silent King. Like, there is a chance the Silent King took the throne as the Silent King after all of the Necrons were woken up. Like, for a fantastic video on this, I highly recommend Wolfwillard Rowe's video on the Silent King. It was absolutely fantastic. Let's see. What's a better color scheme for Drukhari army? Dark teal and bright gold, or turquoise and scarlet? I like turquoise and scarlet. Okay. Hey Alexis, I'm going to buy Warhammer Darktide and Hired Gun. It looks awesome. What about you? I already have Hired Gun, and I plan to get Darktide on release. Why do so many want female Space Marines and not female custodians? Because they're the poster child of Warhammer 40k for an inclusive environment for Warhammer 40k. The inclusivity of female Space Marines would be one of the things. Main characters are typically diverse in all sci-fi at this point, except for Warhammer 40k, but Games Workshop is stepping up and showing diversity within their cast by showing Sisters of Battle fighting right alongside Space Marines, and the Space Marines not treating the Sisters as if they're weaklings that need to be protected, but in fact showing the Space Marines can protect the Sisters as well as the Sisters of Battle protecting Space Marines. As for wanting Sisters, wanting female Space Marines, lore-wise, I actually just want Call to just be like, oh yeah, I tried, it worked, but it's not that good, it's not that safe. And that to be the only explanation, so they can have it, but there's just so few of them that it doesn't matter. Or for them to just ignore the problem and just have people who want their minis to be females not to be insulted. That's really it. Personally, I can go either way on this. I don't really care too much about female Astartes. I just love bringing it up because it shows you who in the 40k community is toxic. And it's a really, really, really good thing for spotting if somebody's going to be a potential problem in your community. As for female custodians, there's actually no lore stating that it can't be a woman that can become a custodian. but they only give the male child to the Imperial Palace to be turned into a custodian. So there's nothing saying that you can't make female custodians, but they're all men given to it. So yeah, that's it. Would I be laughed off the table if I added the new orcs to my evil son boys? Just curious. Also, thanks for the content. No problem. I'm wondering if you mean the new orcas, because that's my personal like orc regiment is the new orcas, and they all wear like Tim's, blue jeans, and white wife beaters. You know, like tank tops. It's great. Aren't the Sisters of Silence kind of custodians? No, they're faster than Space Marines, but at the same speed as a custodian. But Sisters of Silence are more utility than warrior. They are fantastic warriors, don't get me wrong. They are 100% amazing warriors, but their main ability lies in the fact that they are blank. Forge World has ever betrayed the Empire. Do some Forge World... Yes, they do. Dark Mechanicus exists. Custodians look so cool in their armor. I agree. I think a female chapter, but I think I'll diminish the Sisters of Battle and the Sisters of Silence. That I can agree with. I think the Sisters of Silence are just as good as Space Marines, if not better, because they can, well, willfully just give up on pain and be protected by the Emperor, where the Space Marines have to use physical augmentations to best their enemies. So I think both of them are a really good parallel of a perfect warrior for the Imperium. So that's just me. I think they're just as good as each other. In fact, the Sisters are military-wise better than Space Marines. Space Marines are Strike Force better than, as a Strike Force, way better than the Sisters of Battle. They're just an organization in the Imperial War Engine. Personally, I do hope that they bring in new posters and everything that just shows Sisters and Space Marines next to each other. And the same thing for Chaos, where they bring in a Chaos Space Marine and next to him is a corrupted guardswoman. I think that would be really cool. And more store giant posters would be nice. Yes, please. To be honest, I never saw the reason why not to homebrew female chapters. There you go. Do it yourself. I mean, I've seen people mod sister heads into marine armor. Yeah, just do it yourself. It sounds cool. I would especially feel like Sisters of Battle could get pushed aside by female Astartes. Agreed. A Space Marine is pumped full of steroids, and made sterile. That is not true. That is in no lore whatsoever. There is no lore supporting that. There is actually lore supporting the opposite. In Horus Heresy, Horus Rises, a priest asks a Space Marine if he has children, and the Space Marine answers yes. So, also Orc the Slayer. Like, I don't need to go into it any further. So, unfortunately, that is your headcanon. Boom, there you go. Pow, right in the kisser. Also, thank you for the $5. The Cobra. I had a passing knowledge of the lore, but just started painting and playing with my 11-year-old daughter. Oh, that's awesome! And she does. What does she decide to play? Sisters. No, orcs. Look, she knows what she's about. She's an orc at heart. Like, embody that chaos. Okay. Would the two missing Primarchs be women? No, they are confirmed men. In fact, we know one of them. One of them is in the Siege of Terra series. He's on Terra. He defends Erda because Erda found him first. Just saying. Okay, let's see. Female Space Marines are impossible since the Primarchs are male. That is meaningless. People who believe that don't know that most organ donors are women. It's so stupid. They're just like, it has to be men because men organs go in men. And it's just like, no, that's not important. What is important is blood type. Oh my God. It's such a stupid comment. I'm sorry. I don't mean to insult you. It's just a lot of people don't know that. Let me read the rest of the comment. If GW wanted to make female Space Marines, they would need a female Primarch. No. In fact, they have Celestine, who's literally the daughter of the Emperor. It's been said in stories by the Custodes, even that the Imperial Guard is the truest, most important military power for keeping people. Yes, the Imperial Guard is just stronger than both of the branches. Alexis, do you think we will ever get real female guard models instead of just heads? I don't see the problem with just heads. Honestly, guardsmen are guardsmen, and in armor, out of armor, they would look the same under that. I don't think there's a point, like, they might have just a bulge there, and that's it. And that's assuming if they have tits the size of mine. Yeah. I find toxic people in 40K quite funny. Yes, I do too. Now, keep in mind, I'm not trying to insult everybody. I'm hyperbolizing. I can't say that word. But I'm just trying to play it up to be funny. So I do apologize if you are actually hurt. That was not my intention. I apologize. Okay? Okay. Glad we're all here. You're all amazing people, and I love each and every single one of you. Those of you that donate, you're even more awesome than the standard awesome person. Okay, so like, you have Space Marines up here. People who chat and hang out and comment and like this video are like Space Marines. They're super strong, super cool, super amazing. People who donate are like Elysians. Way cooler than Space Marines. I'm just messing. I am just messing. I'm sorry, I'm taking the piss out of this. I'd like to see more Plastic Sisters of Silence since they are my favorite from 30K. You know what? I really want to show you this, but on my table there is like 60 Sisters of Silence. Like, I can't show you yet, but if you go to my, I'm going to be doing a video very soon going over the table, and that's going to be posted to Patreon. So yeah. Sorry to ask again, would Warhammer be good on Netflix? No, let's put it on HBO Max. Ethereal Stern seems like a powerhouse. Do you think she will have more involvement with the Imperium? Yes. Imperial Guard stronger? Space Marines would disagree. They could disagree. I can keep sending men at a problem. In fact, like, again, we boil down to this. Space Marines are a strike force. There is only 1,000 Space Marines. I have trillions of guardsmen. I only need to kill 1,000 Marines. I can keep sending waves after the problem until the Space Marines die off. And that happens, by the way. Okay. Some people literally just headcanon their reasons why they can't be. Yeah, they do. You are completely correct. I wish I was more badass Space Marine. You are. You know what? You're like sitting there, and this level, everyone that's watching is like an Ultramarine. You're sitting up here, not as, actually you're just as cool as an Elysian, but you're even cooler than that because you're, oh, what chapter do I think is the coolest? You're probably like a Dark Angel. In fact, you're probably like a freaking Inner Circle Dark Angel Terminator in Cataphractic armor. There we go. Yeah. What book is the missing Primarch in? One of them is currently in Saturnine, and they use their Primarch code number as their name. Let's see. What is your favorite Chapter Master? Chapter Master Kevin Shrike and Chapter Master Azrael. I love them both. That is, just so you guys know, that's Raven Guard and Dark Angels. Let's see. The Loyalist. Mournival, the Loyalist. Is the Iron Hand still around? And do they have Space Marine chapters as well? Yes. But I don't have HBO Max. All right, that's fair. That's fair. If there was one, we could stream it and watch it in my Discord. Okay? Okay. Oh, here comes another dumb comment. I'm sorry. Which order would you join? Order Hereticus, with a Minoris in Xenos Historita, so that way I know history. Let's see. Isn't gene seed exact DNA, which is sex, gender, is embedded in, sex and gender are not in your DNA. It's actually because of patterns in your body. Your base DNA, like, yeah, that doesn't matter. The gene seed itself is implanted into your neck, and it's an ovary. It injects hormones into your body. It's literally a ovary. I'm not kidding. It's really funny. Anyway, thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome. And Ultra, but I painted my armor yellow. Ooh, so almost Imperial Fist. I actually have a lot more respect for the Imperial Fist than I thought I would. Maybe all Space Marines are just male because the Emperor of Mankind is just a human and has a bias towards conscious and unconsciousness. Do you want to know why Space Marines are strictly men? It's because this game was made in the 80s, when that was common. When it was believed that men and women men were just stronger than women. And physically, yes, men are stronger. They have a higher grip strength. That is true. But when you put a gun in two people's hands, they become equals very quickly because brute force doesn't mean anything. And when you talk about sci-fi, most sci-fis have a very powerful woman in it. And in 40K, we do. We actually have Celestine. We have tons of really powerful women in 40K. Celestine, Greyfax, Ethereal Stern, Yvraine. Let's see, there's, why can I never remember her name whenever I want to, it's Severina Rain, I can never remember her name. But there's tons of powerful women in 40K, and I don't think adding female Space Marines would be good because it takes away from them. So yeah. Supporting Earth, what would the likely... Alexis, where can I find the link to your Discord? It should actually be in the video itself, but just in case, I'll go to my channel really quickly and grab one. Let me just pause this video really quickly. Nope, that's Patreon. I'm so good at this. If you guys want to support me on Patreon, you totally could. It's NornQueenAlexis. Boop. And Latar Sarin, yes. If you want a good evil woman. Okay. Let's see. I like how the Inquisition has college like Majoris and Minoris. Yep. What do you think about Reboot Gilliman? I actually really like Reboot Gilliman, and I like that he's not just a military leader or dictator. He's actually just a person trying his best with the Imperium. So I honestly think he's fantastic and doing a great job. Also, in the 80s, there was a big stigma against violence against women. Yes, that's why in video games, characters like Poison existed, where they technically weren't women, so you were allowed to punch them. And yeah, that led to a lot of stigma for a long time about trans people. So that was pretty bad. But anyway, yeah, you couldn't be violent towards women in the 80s, even in games. So that's a thing. Also, to be honest, it surprises me that the LGBTQ people are accepted in the universe. I kind of figured the Imperial cult would be faithful, and no. So, interesting enough, I've actually had conversations with authors about this, and I really want to get them on camera to record this. Women who are trans women would be accepted into the sisterhood. Like, they're just accepted. Not people who transition and still look like men, but trans people who have transitioned to, well, non-binary to female or male to female, who have transitioned to have gotten the operations because they would see a hospitaler to get the operations, they can join the sisterhood. That's a thing. Just a thing. But it is actually kind of really cool that there are very prominent LGBT characters in Warhammer 40K. Commissar Yarick is really good representation for the gay community. The girl from Mark of Faith, the Inquisitor from Mark of Faith, whose name is escaping me right now, her entire purpose in the entire book was to get her girlfriend to a different planet and use the living saint to get there. Jeez. Alexis, I dare you to play the new Resident Evil. I'm actually playing it over on my Twitch. Let's see. Also, man, what else is it? But yeah, LGBT people are fully accepted in 40K. It's just, whether you live or die is up to you. And when you die, you won't be missed. And that is a quote from the first book of 40K ever. So you know that you will not be missed? That appears in all of the rule books forever. That is a thing that is there. Okay? Just there. Actually, this comment's really good. Honestly, any science debate against female space marines, which again, we're going to drop this topic right after this, is pointless because of the nonsense science within 40K, which I agree with, because the only reason that females can't be space marines is because of zygotes, and that's actually in the Dark Heresy rulebooks as well as in the lore itself. What's funny about that is a zygote is an impregnated egg. That's all that is. So it's just strictly stupid. That's it. But again, we're going to drop the subject, okay? Now, as far as any sexuality goes, as long as you don't and accidentally summon a demon, hey, we just got one new viewer via Patreon. That's awesome. Thank you so much. You can identify as any sex and or gender via DNA, and it's easier than reading the base sequence. Oh, whoops, sorry, I missed 2 comments together. I actually have no preference on gender in 40K. However, science can now identify sex/gender via DNA. I would love to see the paper on that. Like, that would be kind of cool. Oh my god, Troy in here at $50. Damn, thank you so much. Warhammer needs more female representation and the community needs you. Please keep making content. Random question, is there a single sister event that stands out as the last stand sacrifice? Oh god, there actually is several, most of them actually, but my favorite comes from Red and Black, where they activate the blanks. Not the blanks, the artificially created humans. But I don't want to spoil it, just read Red and Black, it's amazing. Let's see. So, this person is flaunting fake science or pseudoscience. The sexuality goes, yep. That's all about Slaanesh. Slaanesh is creepy. We don't talk about Slaanesh. Especially lore for Slaanesh. Humans are culturally different and have shabby but consistently told Xenos are out to get them, so they aren't too concerned about it. Yeah, so in 40K, the Imperium is xenophobic. Now, that does not mean real-world xenophobia, okay? Okay. Real-world xenophobia is horrible. Don't do it. You're a terrible person for doing it, for being one, okay? Okay. In 40K, xenophobia means you're afraid of monsters that are going to eat you, like Tyranids, who can't be reasoned with, who don't have a conscience that you can sense. They have their own conscience, which is horrifying. They are just monsters. Can adjust chromosomes X and Y. Again, I'm sure you don't even realize that humans have 9 confirmed sexes, right? Yeah. I'm just gonna disregard this person's like pseudoscience. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, Commissar Yarrick is awesome. I still can't get over that they have Commissar Yarrick as gay. Like, that was a big surprise to me. It wasn't like defining his entire character or anything. He knows he's about to die, and instead of like, you know, calling a surrender or calling back and telling people where the orcs are or anything, he just calls up, he voxes the base and says, tell my husband I'll miss him. And that's it. And then he actually wins the battle and goes off and has a life with, yeah, it's weird. Commissar Yarrick's story is amazing. Let's see. Somebody say Slaanesh, run. Honestly, out of all the Chaos Demons coming after me, I would prefer to be Khorne. Like, Khorne demons would just murder me, and I'd be okay with that. Nurgle demons would, like, mutate me and be a pus boil, and no, I don't want any of that. Tzeentch demons would probably try to manipulate me, and I am far too gullible. I would definitely be manipulated. And Slaanesh demons would do horrendous things to me. And yeah, Ulfar, it's mentioned in a short story. It's mentioned in an audio drama. Sorry. I gotta find the name of it. Okay, real talk. Are Felinid abhumans actually cat people? Yes, kind of. They're humans that have experimented with Felin DNA, but Felinid is an actual creature as well as a type of abhuman. Keep in mind, this is the same universe that has Shaharadin, and they are technically human, but they're human shark people that kind of like look like this, and it's really weird. I'm not even kidding. Xenophobia also includes Tau and Eldar. Strangely enough, it doesn't really. The average citizen doesn't know the difference between an Eldar, aside from those weird knife ears, and they will never see them, and a human. It's actually why Eldar can hide amongst humans. In fact, they have an entire book about this. As a punishment in Kimura, your ears will be clipped and you'll be forced to hide amongst humans as a form of punishment. I'm not kidding, that's an actual thing. And they act as sleeper agents. It's so good. Also, Eric Edwards, thank you so much for the donation. I love Yarrick. What book does he call his other half? I don't know. It's an audio drama. Honestly, let me just try to find it really quickly. I remember listening to it. I was standing in Games of Plunder and I heard it and I had to rewind and listen to it like 3 more times. All right, let's see if I can find it on Black Library. It's an audio drama with him. Black Library. Okay. Okay. Also, keep in mind, this doesn't define his character. His character is defined by the actions he does. And Yarrick is a monster. Like, he is honestly one of the coolest characters ever. I think it's Y-A-R-R-I-C for Yarrick. Y-A-R-R-I-C-K? Is that how you spell it? Okay. Let's see. It's an audio version of the book. Is there a way to just... of course there isn't. Showing 1 of 15. What book is it in then? Okay, it's in an actual book then. So the book has a... somebody will be able to find this. There's 15 Yarrick books. Good luck. And I will have to find it. I apologize. I don't have it at hand. But yeah. How do we know that you're not an Eldar? Shh. Don't tell anybody. Let's see. Let's see. It is shown in stories that some Imperials want to see under dead Eldar helmets, as they've never seen their faces. Yeah, some Eldar have like black eyes, and it depends on the race of the Eldar themselves. Some can be super pale like myself. Some can actually be of color, of darker skin, of a random alien color, or look like marble. And some Eldar have like bright green eyes. Some Eldar have blue eyes. Some Eldar, the entire iris is just black. Some Eldar, the entire iris is blue. It really depends on the species as well as the race of the Eldari themselves. And I love that they have this type of diversity within the Eldar. So it's amazing. Book is Yarrick Imperial Creed by Dave Arundel, I think. Okay, thank you. Let's go with that one. If somebody wants to take a listen to it and confirm that, that'd be great. It's been a while since I listened to it. Let's see. All the Eldar needs to do is hide amongst humans, is hide their ears and move slowly. Yeah, and just stop moving gracefully. I'm not kidding. I'm so sick of hearing that Eldar move more graceful than a human. It's just like, okay, they walk like a runway model. Just say that. They rock their hips. That's it. Let's see. Went off a war, just not sure if the grandfather survived. I'm not positive. Eldar are super lanky, but so are voidborn humans. But humans who live entirely on ship. Yeah, there you go. There you go. We literally finished each other's thought. Honestly, if I lived in 40K, lived in the 40K world, so worlds, I would just sell out the Imperium to a goddamn heartbeat to live in the Tau Empire. I wouldn't. Tau Empire is currently under attack by 3 Tyranid hive fleets. That sounds horrible. I would live in the Ultima Segmentum, on one of the 500 worlds, preferably a garden world making flowers. Not kidding, that's an actual thing, and it's in Mark of Faith. In fact, one of the Sisters of Battle is from it, and she only finds out after she joins the Sisterhood that all of those flowers that she was cultivating were for funerals. They have an entire world dedicated to growing flowers for funerals. And that is the most metal thing ever. Commissars come out of the Scala, which is a massive space orphanage. Yep, Scala Progenium, not Scala. Scala is school. Scala Progenium is the Scala Progenium. Actually, there's several Scala Progeniums, but you get the point. Scala Progeniums train orphans of officers or often orphans of Sisters of Battle, Sisters of Silence, and so on and so forth. So long as you are descended from military and your parents are dead. Literally all of them are Batman. Anyway. It's in his younger years. The monk I know, we're here. Run. I'm just here to find out Yarick's being gay. That's really cool. Been getting into 40K lore and didn't. Yeah. But again, Yarick, that doesn't define Yarick's character. Yarick's defined characteristic is the fact that he's a rival of Gosgul. The fact that he took the most hardened war boss ever on and nearly bested him. Yarick is amazing as a military leader and terrifying on the battlefield. So scary, in fact, that the Orks think that he could shoot lasers out of his eyes. So when he found that out, he had a laser put in his eye to do that. Also would be sterilized and brainwashed. Why does everybody think everybody in 40K is sterilized? Well, actually, if you join the Tau, you're sterilized. That is one of the things they do. The Tau are horrific. I think the Tau used to be good guys kind of until 40K fans were telling GW. Actually, no, they weren't. They always were the bad guys. Well, not bad guys. They were a good guy in a certain light. But the things that they do to their citizens is horrific, and the way that they wage war is terrifying. They wage war with propaganda, and they tricked their most loyal race, the Kroot, into fighting with them and swearing loyalty to them. Because originally, the Kroot were seen as not a threat to the Imperium, so they were given the old pass. There's an abhuman class called Long Sharks. If you actually look that up, their official name is Shaharadin. Yeah, they are horrific. See, Rob knows. Rob knows his lore. I like that. Sweats in space communists living... Yeah, no, I want to know where this idea of them being communist came from, considering we don't even know their economic system. So... I think it's just because they're Asian and everybody assumes China, which would make them communistic. And they use a caste system, which is based off of India. And their god is an Indian god. So, yeah. Woo. Okay. All right. Trying to catch up on all of this. After threatening to banish a friend to the Ultima Segmentum, he was mentioned that he actually has a pretty good standing of living compared to the rest of the Imperium. Yes. Alexis, choose an aspect warrior path you'd take. Probably Shadow Spectre. If not Shadow Spectre, probably Farseer. It explains why Yarick is so much involved with a green must. Yes. The Emperor obviously wasn't sterile. No, he's had many children. Health review. Again, I don't know where this comes from. Honestly, I do. It comes from, like, old memes about the Tau, like, haha, they're communists. Instead of just telling you what they actually are, which is a mech warrior parody. 50 caliber AP versus the Space Marine armored. Blow right through the Space Marine and kill him. In fact, you can know about this in my series, Everything Wrong With, where we talk about the Space Marine vehicles and the fact that if you punch through the Space Marine Land Raider, you'd kill every single person inside. You know, when I saw those Sisters of Battle war suits, they looked like suits from the Matrix. They actually look more like suits from Infinity. Look at the Infinity armors. It's just from Infinity. But that kind of mech suit is very common. In fact, Diva from Overwatch drives pretty much the same thing. In fact, she even has the missiles on top and 2 burst cannons. She just needs a sword. Are the Farsight enclaves the only good ones, or are they bad too? They are just as bad. Yeah. The Tau are good guys. They have good intentions, but they are still in the 40k universe, so they're technically bad guys. If you want a good guy in 40k universe, I'd actually say that individuals are good, organizations are evil. For instance, Celestine, obviously a good character. Gilliman, obviously a good character. Yvraine, obviously a good character. Farsight, obviously good. Shadow Sun, obviously good. And you could do this to a lot of the races in 40k. Like Maka, obviously good. Are they stupid? Yes. They just are. And yes, I am painting up one of those war suits as Diva. 100% I'm doing that. The Tau Empire is a flux utopia based on central control. That is communism. Actually, communism is an economic system that bases all of their infrastructure around having no currency and that people control the power. So it's kind of the opposite. Just saying. A caste system isn't inherently communistic. In fact, what they have is more of a feudalistic system, where the ethereals are the ones in charge. And typically, ethereals are only in charge if they're around. So they're politicians. They're not actually fully in control of the Tau themselves. They govern the Tau, but the Tau actually have a say and a representative on each council. Read the lore. It's right there. The Tau just view the ethereals with a different lens. They're not controlling them. They are manipulating them using politics like our politicians do to us today. In fact, some would say our politicians are a different species. They're reptiles. That's a joke. I have to say that's a joke because there are people dumb enough out there that would believe that I think that. Just saying. And again, without knowing the Tau's economic system, we can't call them communist. Because every single system of government is exactly what you described. It tries to create a utopia. It tries to do a centralized government. Just saying. The Nundums only work for the High Lords of Terra. I saw Feudor's chair made out of a dreadnought chassis. Doesn't make any sense for the Sisters at Large. It makes sense, the custom job up for the High Lord. I like the Nundums. I think they make perfect sense. I mean, Gilliman would take 2 looks at the Sisters of Battle and be like, they're an effective fighting force. In fact, he did say that. And to give them new weapons and new war gear and new equipment makes sense to me. Let's see. Aren't Custodians and Sisters of Silence technically the good guys? Yeah, I'd agree with that. Aside from Sisters of Silence kidnapping people off of their homes and then forcing them into batteries in the Golden Throne, yeah, I'd say they're good guys. which ultimately saves billions of souls from being devoured by dark gods. Greater good. Worthy sacrifices. The Exodites are the closest thing to good guys. Even then, there's probably some stories somewhere of them doing something horrific. Yeah, I can agree with that. There is no state in that I tell the dictator of the... You are obsessed with this, my dude. If you want to make the Tau communistic, go for it. Say that that's your homebrew. That's your headcanon. Do it up. Like, you do you. Are they actually space commies? No. They're not. Like, sorry. Wire's in the way. Let's see. Still going on about that. It's the elimination of the state, similar to anarchy. Sure, you do you. Speaking of Mech Warrior, currently reading Ghost of Winter's novel. Tell me about it. I want to know. I actually started looking into Mech Warrior lore. Alexis, the world leaders are obviously underground mole people. Well, yeah, who do you think predates on the underground reptilian people who control the birds? God. Do you think we're ever going to see a Lizard Man faction in 40k? I'd love to see them bring dinos with their lasers. I would love that too. Honestly, one army that I think is going to be crossplay at this point, maybe, is possibly Karajan Overlords as squats. I think they're going to be a thing. Most of their boxes are white, so an easy transfer for them to say 40k and AOS. Their weapons and equipment looks 40k instead of AOS. And honestly, all they have to do is just say the Thunderhammers, and most people would just be like, Nito Mosquito, my funky burrito, and it would be perfectly fine. So I do 100% think that Karajan Overlords would be perfect for squats. I think ethereals have bad motives. They want to expand their people and segregate other races to do their will. So yes. By Colta Zinch? No, that would make them smart. Exodoca dinosaur lasers. Yeah, you're right. Which is why I never were. It's easy to exploit. Yeah, no, we're not going into the whole you guys doing that whole role play thing. That's weird. Yeah. Keep it to 40k. I'm almost out. Yeah, I'm sad. Did Marathi end up getting you into AOS? Yeah, pretty much. I had a Marathi given to me, and then I had a bunch of Kitterai given to me, and I was just like, well, I guess I will get into this game. And I'm currently painting them up. In fact, they're actually right there on my painting table. So... So this is my project for my current AOS models. You won't see them too well, but yeah. And focus, peas. No, not really. Well, currently they look like this. Not great, not bad. I kind of started painting some of them and then I hated them immediately. Okay, let's see. Could be the new sister suit, be a marine killer armor for the apostate era commissioned by for the brides to counter assault terminators. That would actually be really cool lore. I personally think an easier lore would be that it's to get veteran sisters back into the battle instead of them just sitting around with getting bionics and trying to put them back out on foot. Or it's just an elite option. Like, I think that it's just to throw sisters back into the battlefield. The Slan technically exist. They were the first and second edition, but except for a labeled image of fifth and fourth. But they haven't been mentioned There's always been the Kroot, though. So the Slann are actually mentioned in a couple of books, but that's about it. I thought Tau wanted to get rid of humans because the Tau god blunder. Fifth Sphere wants to do that. Farsight, as far as I know, kept his Gevesa. But yeah. Do you think the Emperor likes kittens? Probably not. Thought on the new Stormcast character. She looks pretty bad. Like, honestly, I'll be honest. She looks bad. I don't like her. She looks a little weird, like somebody took the photo and accidentally went this way a little bit. I'm not saying being obese is a bad thing at all, and that's not where I'm going with this. But where I'm going with this is that the model just looks out of proportion, in my opinion. The wings look like they're photoshopped on, and the two-handed weapons is pretty silly, in my opinion. For a base model, she looks fine. She kind of looks like heavy aggressor armor. Like how Space Marines look silly with heavy aggressor armor. That's why she looks silly to me. Has anyone else thought Septau units be ballistic skill 3+ naturally, or is it just me? Tau should be ballistic skill 3+. And all armies should have a minimum of 4 toughness or be 2 points a model. So I actually had a big mathematical debate with somebody about this, and I know this is weird. We broke down the effectiveness of the guardsmen. Now, in earlier editions, 6th, 7th, all the way down to 1st edition, Space Marines were used as the center of the 40k universe. For anything to be balanced, they had to be balanced against Space Marines, okay? And what they did with Guardsmen is they were like, oh, well, 2 Guardsmen equals 1 Space Marine because 2 Guardsmen will hit and punch through at 0.75% chance. Actually, it's more like a 25% chance of killing the 1 Space Marine. But now Space Marines have 2 wounds, okay? So now you need 4 Guardsmen to kill that 1 Space Marine. So that 1 Space Marine is 17 points, right? Just about. I think a Space Marine is 17 points. So you do something like 17 divided by 4, you get 4.25. So a Guardsman should only cost 4 points at this point. A Conscript should cost 3 and have a terrible ballistic skill. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Should happen. What are your thoughts on 3D printing in the 40k hobby? A lot of people have different feelings. Okay, this actually deserves its own video, but to sum up my thoughts about this is pretty simple. Does GW produce it? Yes. Probably shouldn't do it and bring it to a hobby store, okay? If you need a bit and you can't get that bit through an official store, 3D print it. If it's something that the company is not producing and you want for your army, 3D print it. If it is something that the company is producing and is at your locals and you 3D print it anyway, you're an asshole. Pretty simple. Like, oh, I want to start Tau, but I only have $40 instead of $50. So you 3D print a bunch of Tau battlesuits. 1, you're stealing IP. 2, you're probably not going to be allowed into a game store because they're going to see you do that and be like, nope, you're bad for business. That's what's going to happen. Now, do you have a 3D printer that can print bits, that can print arms, that can print even torsos that you like for your Space Marines? By all means, or for your army in general. By all means, just buy from your locals. The biggest thing that I want to say about anything when it comes to 3D printing, support your goddamn locals, especially now. They need your support, even if it is to buy some paint pots. Just buy something when you go into your locals at this point. They desperately need it. A lot of local stores are going under. Please support them. So if you have a 3D printer, by all means, you do you. I'm not here to judge you. Just support your local store. And if you don't have a local store, then whatever. Are you going to order the new Sisters Codex and everything when it comes out? I'm actually doing one better. I'm having it sent to me, which is even better. Can't say by who, but it's definitely by somebody. Anyway. Hey, Alexis, I gotta go. Stay safe. Take care. Oh, my phone is going off. Why is my phone going off so much? Okay. There we go. So Games Workshop made a sister, a battle leader, a golden girl, and said she almost Primarch or could be, but I thought Celestine was... When did they say that she was almost a Primarch? You mean the High Lord of Terror chick? She's just amazing. Thanks for the chat, Alexis. Warhammer Lore Weekend chat are always dope, and thanks for the info about Ultimar Garden Worlds. That's solely there for funeral decorum. Damn, that's nuts. Thank you so much for the donation. You're awesome, and I absolutely love you. You're great. Have a great night. But let's get back to the questions and junk. But yeah, no, they didn't make a girl as strong as a Primarch. Celestine is on par with a Primarch. Like, that's it. I was going to 3D print some Rough Riders and said I made Catachans on Cold Ones from AOS. Actually, that's really cool. Catachans on Cold Ones. That's actually really cool. I like that. Yeah, I don't want to buy a whole nother Castellan tank just to have the option for the turret. Yeah, print the turret. That's fine. That I don't care about. I was going to 3D print some Rough Riders. Yeah, that I don't mind. It's just so long as you support your local game store. Like, if you are playing at a local game store, support your local game store. Buy your products there. Even if they are expensive, even if they're charging full MSRP, please support your local game store. I'm not saying that as somebody who works at a game store. I'm saying that as a person who wants to see the hobby expand. Do sisters have a seat on Terra? Yes, they do. Now they do, because the new chick who Gilliman put on the Council of Terra, which is actually from a book already, and I already read about it, and I thought that was really cool. They mentioned that Gilliman revamped the High Lords of Terra, and it caused a few of them to get pissed. One of them to try to assassinate another one, but that's no real difference. And a few new ones to be added. So the Council of Terra is now a democracy, and it's a feudalistic empire. The Imperium is feudal at this point. Yeah, no, you're good with that. They said her buffs were similar to Primarchs, and a bunch of people misunderstood what they said. Oh, that she has aura abilities? Yeah, that's fine. Guardsmen hit on 4+, so 2 guardsmen will hit once each if they're in rapid fire range. We're talking full range. And wound on a 5+, so 1/3. 6 guardsmen, finally, the Space Marine has... So you'd have to do 3 wounds. Yeah, you are correct. It would take 6 guardsmen to equal 1 Space Marine. The reason I say 4 is because 6 is a bit too much. But we had a big discussion about this too. How to fix guardsmen. Bring back infantry platoons from 5th edition. It was a stupid idea, but it was genius. Because you can bring 3 heavy weapon squads as a troop choice. And my camera is out of focus. 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 Camera. Peace. Peace, you want to focus? That'd be great. No? Okay. I guess we're just doing this not focused anymore. Just joined the stream. Heard Council of Terror is a democracy. Fuck. It actually always has been. I really don't understand why my camera is doing this, so we're going to fix this real quick. Boop. Boop. There. Now I am spooky Alexis. Stop. And see, it instantly refocused. So the reason that my camera has trouble focusing is because in the light, my skin is as light as this wall, and it focuses on this wall instead of me. They took... Okay. Platoons just work. They took it away because of how 8th edition each detachment worked. But they could bring it back, is what I'm saying. I think they should bring it back. Sister subject to Ministorm is a man given a seat at the... Is this a GM given a seat at the church? So Sisters of Battle are subservient to 2 factions. Ordo, Hereticus, Inquisition, and the Ecclesiarchy. But now that Gilliman is okay with the ecclesiarchy, once he fixes a few things with it, because he's seen the power of faith and everything, he has respect for the sisters. They're terrifying. I feel like the most dangerous species of Tyranids are that, as far as we know, there could be an entire galaxy's worth of them streaming. Yeah, you are correct. That said, she's a defender of the faith. Yep. I will read those afterwards. They should bring it back. It works in the fluff. Okay. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Alrighty. So it has been, how long have we been going? We started at 6:30. Now it's 8:30. We've been going for 2 hours. I think it's good to actually end it here. So with this, I just want to say with everybody here, check out my Patreon. It's the first link in the description. I have exclusive hiccups, apparently. I have exclusive videos on there that you could check out. It's all about the books on my bookshelf, because I have a ton of old white dwarfs and a lot of people wanted to see me go through them. So that entire thing is on my my Patreon. It's $1 a month. Just check it out. It's cool. It helps support me and my dream of being dumb. But yeah, I'm going to get going. As always, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.